Hey, what's going on, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to smash that subscribe button because we've got some exciting news coming your way today. Now, as we all know, this time of year is a crucial one for the Dallas Cowboys. It's not just about making the playoffs. It's about getting everything right as the team heads into those big-time, high-stakes games in December and January. But with those big moments come even bigger challenges. And one of the biggest challenges is staying healthy. Injuries can make or break a season, and today I'm thrilled to bring you some good news on that front. That's right, encouraging injury updates have come in for two pivotal players for this Cowboys team: tight end Jake Ferguson and cornerback Trevon Diggs. These two guys have been absolutely key to the Cowboys' success this season, and getting them back on track will make a world of difference. Stick around, because we're about to dive deep into how these updates could change the course of the Cowboys' 2024 season. First up, let's talk about Jake Ferguson. For those who don't know, Jake Ferguson has been a revelation this season for the Cowboys. The second-year tight end out of Wisconsin was drafted to be a key contributor, but he's exceeded expectations, proving to be a reliable target for Dak Prescott. Whether it's catching a ball in critical third-down situations or helping out with a blocking game, Ferguson has solidified himself as an essential part of the offense. But as we know all too well, the NFL is a brutal game, and unfortunately Ferguson has been dealing with a nagging injury that had fans seriously concerned. It all began when Ferguson went down with what looked like a lower body injury during one of the Cowboys' crucial games. A few days after that, reports started coming in, and we learned that Ferguson had been dealing with a hamstring injury. Hamstring injuries are tough, guys. These things can linger for weeks, sometimes even months. As a player, you're always worried about re-injuring it, and if you come back too early, you risk making the injury worse. So for Ferguson, the question was, would he be able to recover in time for the team's playoff push? Would the Cowboys be without one of their best weapons for the stretch run? We were all holding our breath as the rehab process started. The good news, Cowboys fans, is that Ferguson's rehab has been going much better than expected. Over the last few weeks, we've heard that he's been making solid progress. Early reports suggested that it might take a few weeks before he would even return to light practice. But it seems that Jake Ferguson's recovery has exceeded expectations. He's already back running routes, catching passes, setting tone for production. And that he will be fit for field performance will be unavailable to start mid-December, and working out with full intensity. The best news of all, Ferguson is now on track to return by Week 14, just in time for the final push toward the playoffs. So, what does that mean for the Cowboys moving forward? With Ferguson back in the lineup, Dak Prescott gets one of his most trusted weapons back. And let's not forget, Jake Ferguson has become a key piece of this offense, especially in the red zone. The tight end position has become even more critical for the Cowboys this year. Look at how Ferguson was used in the first part of the season. He was constantly targeted on third downs and became a reliable security blanket for Dak when the offense was under pressure. And that's not all. Ferguson also plays an important role as a blocker, which means he's able to help the Cowboys' running backs, like Tony Pollard, get into space and make plays in the open field. Before his injury, Jake Ferguson had 40 receptions, 430 yards, and 3 touchdowns through 10 games. These aren't huge numbers, but they are incredibly valuable. His ability to help the offense move the chains, his reliability in key moments, these are the things that make him indispensable. So getting Ferguson back healthy in Week 14 is a huge win for the Cowboys' offense. He's a player who can do it all: catch, block, and even helps set the tone for the run game. That's exactly the type of player you need to have at the tight end spot if you want to make a deep playoff run. Now, let's talk about Trevon Diggs. Oh man, if you're a Cowboys fan, you've probably been thinking a lot about Diggs' injury over the last few months. The Cowboys' defense, which had been looking absolutely elite for much of the season, suffered a massive blow when Trevon Diggs went down with a torn ACL in Week 6. Diggs, who had been playing at an all-pro level before the injury, is the type of player that can completely change the dynamics of a game. We're talking about a cornerback who can shut down top receivers and, of course, take the ball away. This guy can create turnovers, which is something the Cowboys' defense thrives on. The news of Diggs' injury was devastating not just for Cowboys fans but for the entire team. Without a doubt, Trevon Diggs is one of the cornerstones of the defense. His ability to cover receivers on the outside, paired with his knack for creating interceptions, made him a game-changer. The loss of Diggs left a massive void in the secondary, and it was clear that the Cowboys would need to adjust. But here's the twist. There's some great news coming from the recovery side of things. While it's been confirmed that Diggs will miss the rest of the season, we've heard encouraging updates on his recovery. The rehab process for a torn ACL is no joke, but it seems like Diggs is pushing the envelope. Recent reports say that he's ahead of schedule in terms of recovery. Doctors are impressed with how well he's bouncing back. It's not just the medical staff who are optimistic. Diggs himself has been vocal about his commitment to coming back stronger. And while we won't see him back on the field this season, the good news is that there's a very real possibility that Diggs will be back on the field next season, and potentially even sooner than originally anticipated. For Cowboys fans, this is a huge relief. We know that Trevon Diggs is one of the top cornerbacks in the NFL, and his return to form will be monumental for the team's defense. While he won't be available for the remainder of the 2024 season, Diggs' recovery could be a key storyline heading into next year. If he's able to come back and play at the level he was before the injury, the Cowboys' defense will be even more dangerous, especially with Micah Parsons leading the charge and the addition of other key pieces like DeMarcus Lawrence and Leighton Vander Esch. But let's be clear. While we're not going to see him on the field for a while, the fact that Diggs is ahead of schedule and showing such positive recovery signs should give Cowboys fans a lot of hope for next season. Diggs has proven that he can go toe-to-toe with the best wide receivers in the league. His ability to get turnovers, change the momentum of a game, and lock down the opposition's best player is irreplaceable. And with Diggs returning next season, the Cowboys' secondary will be in great hands. So while we can't celebrate his return just yet, this is definitely good news for the Cowboys' future. So what does this all mean for the Cowboys? For Jake Ferguson, getting him back in the lineup for the stretch run will be a massive boost. As we head toward the playoffs, having a reliable tight end who can not only catch but also block and help create running lanes is going to be crucial for the Cowboys. They're going to need every weapon they have if they want to make a deep postseason run. As for Trevon Diggs, the immediate future is about patience. The Cowboys will continue to make do without him this year, but knowing that he's ahead of schedule and on track for a return next season is a huge boost to the team's long-term prospects. With a defense already playing at a high level, the potential for a fully healthy Diggs to return next season makes the Cowboys' defense even more terrifying for opponents. So, Cowboys Nation, while we still have a long way to go before we can celebrate seeing Ferguson and Diggs fully healthy and back on the field, these injury updates are exactly what we needed to hear. It's a reminder that the Cowboys are not just focused on this season. They're looking at the future, and they're doing what they can to get their key players back to full strength. With these updates, the hope for a bright 2024 season just got a whole lot brighter. Thank you so much for watching. If you're as pumped as I am about these injury updates, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for all the latest updates on your Dallas Cowboys. We'll be here breaking it all down as the season continues. Until next time, Cowboys Nation, stay strong, stay hopeful, and as always, go Cowboys.